It's so when I started my blog and when I started getting on the social, eventually, I built a brand without really knowing my goal. So I went into it thinking like, I want to own my own shoe store. That was my goal. I was like, man, if I could just do this all day. I was at the time following my passion. I was, and best believe, I was really passionate about sneakers. Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. That's my end goal. And then social media happened, and this is how early it was. So I didn't have a store. So I would just, like, when people wanted to buy shoes from me, I would send PayPal invoices via email. And that's how I sold shoes. So, like, and then I heard, I read one of these articles, and it's like, the internet, make money while you sleep. And I'm like, man, that sounds cool. And so there was a company, I think they're still around, before Shopify, before all these other ones. There's a company called Big Cartel. And I'm like, okay, this is an online store. It's an e-commerce platform that will help me build out a store. So I built out an online store, and I remember the first time I woke up in the morning and I had like 2 orders. And I was like, yo.
How did that feel? How did that feel for the...
You did that for how long?
No, I'm saying, how did it feel like when you woke up and you see like you had like 2 orders, like, already...
Incredible, dude. I was like, I did it. I'm making money while I'm sleeping. I'm successul. I'm like, I just want to do more of this. So, I kept doing that and kept doing that. And then I remember one time, like, I went through this phase. I'm like, man, I'm just tired of wearing everybody else's shit and, like, giving everybody else, like, credit. Like, nobody's paying me to wear this hoodie. Nobody's paying me to wear this T-shirt. So I went through this phase where I would wear, like, just white tees, right? Just, like, blank white tees, or I was... no logos. So I went through this phase where I was wearing no logos, and I hit up my homie and I was like, yo, thinking about making a hoodie. I was like, you want one? He's like, sure. So I remember I went to the printers and I did a little design, and we made one, and bro, it was the worst quality of all time. It was just like super janky. It was whack. But anyway, I took a picture of it like this. I took like a little selfie and I posted it on Twitter. Yeah. And hella people were responding and like, yo, I need one. Let me get that. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, all right, if you guys want one, send me an email and you have to prepay for it. So I took a pre-order list of like 50 people that had responded to me, and I was just like, okay, it's going to cost me this much to produce. I don't need to make a lot of money on it, maybe like $20 off of each one. So I just, like, here's the price. I invoiced everybody, they paid me. And then I went to the printers and I was like, all right, here's the money, go print them. Yeah. And then that's when I started the brand side of things. And for me, like, I had all these ideas that I thought would be cool. So I took, I don't know if you remember, but like, a lot of people used to roll around in their cars and hang like baby J's from the rear view mirror.
Yeah, I remember that.
Little, like, toddler, infant shoes, and I was like, man, that's cool. But like, what if we just made an air freshener that looked like a Jordan instead of like hanging like a baby Jordan? So
that's different.
I hit up a designer, and he mocked up a design. I went and printed some air fresheners, and dude, it went viral in the sneaker community. So I got posted on like Complex, Soul Collector, Nice Kicks, basically any, all the shoe game.
Yeah, like the big major boys.
Yeah, I don't know who's listening right now, but like, if you were around back then, those sites were it. And dude, I started I sold thousands of air fresheners. Chris Brown was rocking it in the Ferrari and the Lambo. Kylie Jenner had it in. Like, it was a fun time. So yeah, I got into understanding and learning like the process of coming up with an idea for a potential product, and then locating a manufacturer, working through that process just by trial and error, and a lot of like lost money and sampling and all that stuff. And one of the things that I always wanted to do was, I was like, man, it'd be cool. You know, it'd be cool to put some of the designs from the sneakers that I like on like dog collars and leashes. And I was like, man, it'd be funny because I had a dog at the time. I had 2 dogs at the time, and I was like, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I never got around to it, and then I just kind of like buried that idea. Well, I remember it was about 2 years ago on New Year's Day. I was in San Diego and I rolled up into an Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
And I had thought about bringing this idea back, but I was just like on the fence about it. So I roll up in the Urban Outfitters. I'm just like cruising around, and I see this young couple. They're like they're a young Asian couple, probably in their like mid 20s, and they're just like dressed to the nines. They got Gucci everything on. They got matching Yeezy.
Yeah.
And like, and then they have these 2 dogs, and all I thought was like, I was super hungover, by the way. I was just like out of it. I was still hurting from the night before, and I was like, yo, those are my customers. And now, mind you, I don't have a name for what I'm doing. I don't have like a website. I don't have an Instagram or anything.
So you just doing the designs and pushing them out instead of like, you didn't even have a name yet?
It was just in my head.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just in my head.
That's crazy.
And so I was like, yo, those are my customers. So like, I went up to him and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, your dogs are so cool. And then I just told him that I had this dog brand that I definitely didn't have. And I was like, we have to do a photo shoot. Like, you guys are like a dope couple. It would be perfect for the brand. And I got their contact information. I ended up hitting up, never did the photo shoot, but they were basically the catalyst for the dog company now. So after that, like, I left the store and I called my homie and I was like, yo, Alan, I was like, remember that idea I was telling you about? He's like, yeah. I was like, we're going to do it. He's like, all right, let's do it. So we started, we found a manufacturer. We did some sampling. We got the designs right. And then we launched probably like a year ago. Maybe a little over a year ago, and dude, it's a fun little side project. If I put more time and energy and effort into it, if it was my only thing going, that shit would be cranking right now. But coming soon, I think there might be one of our customers is a buyer at Urban Outfitters, so I've been having conversations with Urban Outfitters. I think a goal this year is to get that as one of our accounts. But yeah, man, just having fun selling dog stuff.
Sure, I definitely can't wait till me and my wife get dogs now. So, cause I checked out the website and it's dope. Like, I seen like the leashes and stuff like that. Like what's it called? The harness and stuff. It's hard. It's like a Supreme, but for dogs. Like, it's.
Yeah, so the whole concept was like, how do you take what I would consider, like, everything stems from, what do I want? Like, if I had a dog, what would I want to, like, rock? You know? And I was like, man, you go to Petco or PetSmart or whatever, and it's just like red, blue.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's blah.
Like, yeah. And I'm like, man, that's stupid. And then you go to like the super bougie dog boutiques, and like there's a sweater for like $100. You're like, man, my sweater doesn't even cost $100. You know. So I was like, how do I find something in the middle that I think is cool and relevant in what I would cater towards what I would consider that modern dog owner. So like, you're probably in your 20s or your 30s. You're cool enough to know what brand, like you care about your style, and you don't want the run of the mill, stuff for your dog. Like, if your dog's like your child, you want your dog to be fly.
Yeah.
So this is the brand for you. Yeah. So that's how. that's the sales pitch. Because your dog's dope and we do dope shit. That was one of the first little taglines. That's one of the first taglines that we used. So just try to have, the whole thing is like, have fun with it. Don't take ourselves too seriously, and it's always quality. So put out the best product that you can, better than the competition, and then build a brand around it and see if people get behind it. And it's been cool. It's been fun.
That's what's up, man. Because that's something. You probably the first I ever seen, like, personally that actually had like a concept of just, you know what, let me create something for the dogs that's like, that's the style, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't look like you said, like, it don't look like one of the bougie stuff that's like $300 and it ain't something that's blah, that's from like Petco or, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that's like, when I have, like, cause you know, my wife, she get on me all the time, but like, when I get my husky, I want her to be like me, you know what I'm saying? A little bit, you know, drolled out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So
it should be an extension of. I don't have kids, but like if I did, they'd be fly, man. Their shoes will be fresh, like they'd be, you know, it'd be fun. And I'm like, most people, like right now, a lot of people aren't having kids as young, and so they're, you know, and a lot of people are, you know, bringing dogs, and that's like their family, you know. A lot of couples and a lot of like, dogs are like the thing, dude. Dogs have more followers on Instagram than people.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, man, this is perfect. This is fun.
See, you never know.
Everybody just take pictures of their dog.
You never know. Y'all may be a sponsor for the dog shows and stuff in the Olympics they be having every year. You never know.
Yeah.
And if y'all do, name me. I hope I be there. I was telling my interviewees, never forget about your boy, cause I'm here.
I ain't sleeping on you.
So I have a couple more questions to ask you. One of the questions I always ask, it's more like a top 5 list, and it could be anything. It could be music, movies, the things that you've done so far. And you being a podcaster in the podcast industry and stuff, and also in the business industry, I'd rather ask you, I guess, your top 5, I guess, moments as a podcaster.
Well, I don't know if that one would be like relevant, because I haven't, I guess, officially launched the episodes. But maybe by the time this goes live, maybe it's live. But maybe I can just speak about, you know, being in the podcasting space. Yeah. And kind of like my experience there, because I think that ties in closely to it.
Because we all have our moments, and it's like some moments of I would say, like, we have moments that we'll never forget and we already appreciate, you know.
Yeah. Let me think about that. That's a deep question. I want to give it like a real answer. I think one of the first things that comes to mind is landing one of our first partnerships, right? Yeah. Was really cool because I'm like, and it was successful. Mm-hmm. So it was taking this idea that I had that I didn't know if it was, you know, if it was gonna work out or not, and, you know, landing basically just like them taking a chance on us, and then it going really, really well. And then we renewed the contract, and then now I have so many amazing relationships with these brands, and that's really what I set out to do. It's like, I want to add so much value to these brands through podcasting. So when I was able to bring on some of these deals independently, so I took everything away from the agencies, and I said, I'm going to do everything direct now. And a lot of these companies they took a chance on us, and so getting the first couple of deals under your belt, that to me was huge. The other thing is, you know, I made some references to music earlier, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the band on tour. I'm gonna make the band. I'm gonna do a Diddy move. So I took the podcast, I took Mind Pump, and I took them on a tour. I did LA, I did San Diego and Seattle, so like a 3-city tour, nothing crazy, just like a West Coast tour.
This was it.
And I was able to work with each of our partners. And I remember the first time we showed up to our first event, it was packed, and we didn't open the doors until like 8 o'clock, and we had people like chanting outside. There was a line, you know, and then afterwards, you know, the event was only supposed to go for like an hour, 9 or 9:30. People stayed till like 11 p.m. Like, we couldn't get them to leave, you know? And that to me was super special, because you're able to see the connections being made, and it was just you're creating a space for people to come together and connect with people that